Ex-President is a unique perk deck. It's one of the two health gating decks in the game, and I would say it's the best at what it does. So far in this perk deck series, I've gone over Sociopath, Anarchist, and Armor, which are all great decks. However, Ex-President is not like these decks. It's a lot more fragile and takes more care to use. You don't have any iframes, armor gating, or high tankiness, but you do get some fun abilities to make use of. The biggest and most unique thing you get from Ex-President is the ability to health gate. Health gating is similar to armor gating, but it's quite a bit riskier. Whereas perk decks like Sociopath and Anarchist allow you to quickly regenerate small chunks of armor after taking damage, Ex-President does a similar thing with your health. After taking health damage, you can near instantly regenerate your health to take another shot. Unlike armor gating decks, there is no timer for this health gating, well, not in a traditional sense. To health gate, you need your health storage to be fairly high, and that depends on your armor choice and kills. Every single kill that you and your team make adds 12 health to your storage. I'm not going to go into specifics for each armor, but the idea is that less armor gives more storage. For example, Suit stores 210 health and takes 18 kills to fill. LBV stores 202.5 health and takes 17 kills to fill, and on and on. With a team in which every player owns a keyboard and a mouse, your storage will fill entirely in under 30 seconds pretty consistently. If your team struggles with killing power, your ability to health gate will be slightly hindered as building your storage will take longer. After building up your storage and taking health damage, the instant your armor comes back, be it from bullseye or just regenerating naturally, this storage will be applied to your health. Unfortunately, if your health is full and your armor regens, the storage will also be applied. The extra health doesn't save or carry over. Once you drop it, you need to start over from scratch. Another interesting factor of the perk deck is the insane armor regeneration speed. Before I talk about just how fast Ex-Pres regens its armor, it would be important to explain how every perk deck, aside from Anarchist, regens armor. The very first thing to understand is that while suppressed, your armor cannot regenerate. To put it simply, suppression is when you're under fire. The biggest annoyance when it comes to suppression is turrets. We've all been there before, sitting behind the door of Biker Heist with a turret focusing us through the door, and our armor just never comes back. This same effect happens with every enemy that is shooting at you. Suppression also starts a 1-second buffer before your armor can actually regenerate. After this 1-second buffer runs out, your armor starts to regenerate. For some reason, Overkill decided that regen times would be faster in CrimeNet offline than in online. In online, your armor regen has a base of 3 seconds as opposed to offline at 1.75. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to talk about the online version. If you have no armor skills, this totals up to a 4-second regen. For Ex-President, the armor regeneration becomes faster the lighter your armor is, up to a maximum speed of 0.15 seconds on the suit. Add skills like Resilience Basic, Shock and Awe Basic, and the Armor Team Buff, and this goes down to 0.08 seconds, plus the 1 second from suppression. And if you're wondering, in offline, this time goes to just barely under 0.05 seconds. Now, for reference, Yakuza at 0 health, with the same buffs, regenerates at 0.69 seconds, and Hitman, without fully broken armor, regenerates at 0.94 seconds. So if you look at the first, second, and third place, you can see just how far ahead Ex-President is. Even with the ICTV, the slowest regenerating armor, Ex-Pres blows the other decks out of the water at 0.26 seconds. This regen speed is pretty insane, but the absolute best part of Ex-President is the 15 dodge. Anyway, here are the builds. Let's start pretty standard. Well, as standard as my builds get. Ex-President benefits off of getting a lot of kills quickly, so shotguns it is. The least used shotgun class is the 100 damage shotguns, and to be honest I can see why. They're sort of like the pre-buff DMRs in battle rifles. They hit some silly breakpoints, but have some wimpy pickup to counteract it. With the skills in this build, the primary can one-shot kill heavies. Not only that, but this gun can spam, like uncomfortably fast at times. If this gun had a lower fire rate, there would be approximately zero issues with ammo upkeep, as a shotgun can multi-kill very easily, but the spam ability can be a bit of a drain. Some people will write off Scavenger Ace as a bad skill, but they'd be kinda wrong. In close quarters, as a shotgun generally is, it's a very solid skill. Just about everything will go down to this build, but dozers will be a little bit crit-liant. Since Ex-President is cheap on points, I grabbed some melee skills with the Ice Pick that can be used to soften up or just kill the dozers altogether to bypass that problem. One thing you'll notice is that I'm using an HE Judge in place of a DB. If you're thinking, isn't DB better in like every way? You'd be right. However, with HE, you can break your own armor and have a safe way to heal yourself on demand without needing to be shot by an enemy. You can swap this out if you want to, but this is just how I like to play Ex-Prez. Ex-Prez comes with a 15 built-in dodge, so dodge Ex-Prez is technically an option. Do I recommend it over the safer and more consistent LBV playstyle? Not really. But I like options, and this is one of them. Maybe it'll suit your playstyle better than it does mine. Is the dodge going to save you? Probably not. In fact, 40 dodge is pretty pathetic, but it might save you. It's not often that I go for Sneaky Bastard, as tier 4 skills are understandably expensive, and there's often better things to spend points on. However, the odds of being 3-shot to death instantly between 40 and 30 dodge is a difference of about 15%. As long as you aren't acing it, Sneaky Bastard isn't that bad. But limiting yourself to only basic isn't good either. Sneaky Bastard is a tough skill to balance along with the rest of the build, but in here it fits perfectly. Both the GL40 and Parabellum are very concealable, and reach the requirements for Sneaky Bastard Basic without needing to drain your points or murdering your weapons with modifications. Speaking of the Parabellum, this is an often forgotten powerhouse of a gun. Without pistol skills or crits, it can output an absurd almost 1400 damage per second per mag. Add some pistol skills and headshot multipliers, and this becomes almost 30,000 damage per second per mag. Without crits! I grabbed some melee skills here too, but you'll notice the Parabellum very clearly has no issues with dozer killing. These skills are here to make the GL40 an even dumber weapon than it is. Spamming explosives lets you rack up kills for your health really quickly, but speeding up the reload is just, well, it speaks for itself. And since basically every shot pays for Bloodthirst by itself, you can almost keep up a perpetual Bloodthirst boost if you wanted. Also, similar to the HE Judge, you can shoot yourself with the GL40 for health. Just remember that you're in a suit, so angle the shot away a bit, as to not delete your health bar in accident. You'll notice this is the first build I've used Hostage Taker on so far. Hostage Taker isn't really needed for the other builds, as breaking your own armor can heal you safely. This build doesn't have any way to do that, so Hostage Taker is a nice way to build health. If you don't want to take this, and instead just get your armor shot down for health, You can move these points to high value target or unseen strike. The Desert Fox is a very underutilized weapon, and I think it's kind of a shame. It fits into this build perfectly, however, due to its high concealment. The 500 tier of sniper rifles is extremely powerful and can deal with every unit by themselves, so a high DPS secondary isn't really even needed. So I chose a Cobus for style. Also, I paid for the skin, so I'm gonna use it. You can change the Cobus out for a more meta weapon, but realistically, Graze on the Desert Fox is enough to keep every enemy at bay, the same as any other weapon. Graze kills also count for health storage, so you'll be building your health up in only a couple of shots, given they actually hit something. As per usual, my weirder build for last. Fully loaded aced isn't a skill you see used very often, in part because it's sort of broken. If you read the skill, it's pretty straightforward, right? You start at a 5% chance and it increases by 1%, so it goes 6%, then 7, then 8, and so on. Well, you'd be wrong. For some reason, it increases by 1% of 5%, so your chances will actually go 5.05%. 5.1005%, 5.151505%, and so on. Makes total sense, right? Well, either Overkill wrote this to be deceptive, or they messed up their code, and as we saw recently with the accidental Kingpin buff, it's likely the latter. However, lucky you, there's a mod that fixes this skill. When you look at the numbers, it's almost hilarious how much of a difference exists between what Overkill wrote and what they programmed in. Well, that's besides the point. Why am I even using such a niche skill in this build? This is something that was shown to me by an ex-president main called Mustard Seeds a while back, and it's a very clever idea that works really well. The first benefit of having an infinite supply of dynamite is the fact that you can use it to break your armor for health. This is similar to the HE Judge and GL40 I showed earlier. The second benefit of having an infinite supply of dynamite is the killing power that it gives. Dynamite easily kills all units that aren't specials, which results in a burst heal to your health storage similar to a grenade launcher. I might as well give a tidbit of advice from the player I learned this from, so if you see a single enemy walking around a corner, don't be afraid to toss a dynamite at it. Odds are there are more enemies coming from behind them. The explosion radius will handle them too. Unlike other explosive throwables, dynamite can't be shot by players or enemies, so it won't explode prematurely in your face from a stray bullet hitting it. I find this is something not many players know, so if you ever wonder why your explosives just kind of blow up, it's because of that. Other than that, this is a pretty straightforward akimbo SMG build with Bulletstorm.
Hello, my name is Uncle Gulgile. I noticed that Carrot is making another build video, so I went ahead and managed to secretly sneak into his video. Just don't tell him, please. I need cloud. Seriously though, thank you Carrot for letting me be part of this 5 build video for ex-president. So this build is focused on doing decent damage output considering the low blow ace. It does give the RPK a nice damage boost. Yes, I say RPK specifically, because the secondary pistol here is really only to achieve the 23 detection risk. It doesn't really serve another purpose outside of being a backup weapon in case you do run out of ammo with the RPK, which is quite unlikely considering it's an LMG. Unless you need like 60 bullets or so for one enemy, but let's just not assume that. Now, some of you probably noticed that there's no ace deployable in this build. There isn't really a reason to go for them honestly, but if you do really want to have, let's say, medic bags, You could remove body expertise aced, it doesn't really change that much in terms of damage output. It's just that you have to aim for the head a lot more. Honestly, it's up to you what you do here. I just went for body expertise aced because my aim is hot garbage.
Weird. I looked away from my editing software for 1 second and it feels like someone edited themselves in or something. Anyway, that was Uncle Gelgel. He's an incredibly good player. Check out his channel in the description. He has builds like this one if you're interested, and he also has some insane solo runs that, to be honest, I could never even dream of doing. So, that was 5 ex-president builds, all of them fairly unique. Give X-Prez a try, even if it isn't with one of these builds, since it's a very fun deck. Or maybe that's just me speaking from the fact that I played nothing but X-Prez for like 2 weeks. Nah, I'm just kidding. As for the next build video, I'm not going to make it a poll this time, since I've wanted to do Hacker for quite some time, and you fools keep not picking it. So look out for that video when it comes out, and check out the other build-related stuff I have while you wait.